For most people, price and weight are the first things they check on a spec list. For others, however, they're less of a consideration than outright quality, solidity and longevity. They're the kind of buyers you'll find darkening the doors of dealers with the products of Hymer or Coachman on their forecourts. And for the past year or so, you've been able to add Swift and Sterling to that list, thanks to their Continental and Elegance ranges. They feature Swift Group's Smart HT construction and a seriously packed kit list. I reckon that this Sterling Continental 570 looks pretty fantastic too. I really like the smooth glass fibre front end with the big sunroof and the triple windows. Not to mention those discreet graphics set off by the stylish Scorpion alloy wheels. But then the exterior was never the thing that split opinion. That comes inside. Unlike the more muted tones of its Swift brother, the Continental makes a bold statement inside, with these cream leather look cupboards and their smoked oak inlays, and this two-tone Ronda upholstery. It's a real love it or hate it look. What's likely to be less divisive, however, is the 570's layout. It's pretty traditional. We've got a parallel front lounge, a central kitchen, a fixed French bed on the near side, and a full-width end washroom. It's also lovely and bright in here, largely thanks to that big, full-width sunroof. Now, one of the features of Swift Group ranges in recent years has been their fantastic lighting, and this Continental is no exception. There's bags of different LED options, so it should feel just as special at night, when you simply pull out the slats beneath the sofas and it makes a good-sized double bed. Oh, and techie freaks will love this bank of switchgear at the front here. We've got 230-volt sockets, a USB port, a 12-volt socket and an aerial socket, enough to power every device imaginable. Style has won out in the kitchen too, with this illuminated splashback and these white acrylic stone surfaces. Now, they don't sound too practical, but Swift tells me that if you scratch it or stain it, you can sand it back and refinish it because it's so thick. Otherwise, things are pretty standard in here. We've got a good-sized fridge freezer, a dual-fuel 4-ring hob, and a separate oven and grill. And of course a microwave, although we'd rather it wasn't sited directly above the hob. Overhead, it's great to see an Omnivent, and on the other side of the van, we've got a good-sized sideboard, just the place to put your TV. There's cupboards beneath it, and above, a rather snazzy illuminated cocktail cabinet. Plus, of course, another bank of sockets. Transverse island beds are becoming increasingly popular these days, but it's still easy to see the appeal of a fixed French bed such as this. They tend to be longer for a start. This one's 6 foot 3 inches, and it's easier to navigate your way past to the loo. This one features a very comfortable duvet mattress, individual reading lights, and a big padded headboard. There's also loads of storage underneath, although you have to be careful not to exceed the van's 156 kilo payload. What about if you fancy a bit of privacy from the other people staying in the van? Well, that's easy. You simply draw across this screen and pull this down. A top-spec van deserves a top-spec bathroom, and this one doesn't disappoint. It's a really good size in here, nice and deep, and there's a big shower unit. I also love the illuminated mirror, the proper domestic-style towel rail, and the opaque window for privacy. There's even a couple of speakers mounted underneath one of the cupboards. My only quibble would be the fact that the lounge table is stored in here, which isn't hugely practical. At around 26 grand, this is not a cheap van, but it really does have everything you could need, from a full complement of Alco goodies to Aldi wet central heating, from external gas, electricity and shower points to an onboard water tank and even a solar panel. Now, all of that kit is obviously going to add weight, and the MTPLM of this van is a hefty 1700 kilos, putting it firmly into SUV territory. But if those figures don't faze you, there's an awful lot to love about the Sterling. And of course, if you don't like the interior, you could always have a Swift Elegance 570. It's exactly the same, apart from the trim.